Hey guys, welcome to Blaugrana United. Welcome to another video. And Blaugranas, congratulations, because we've done it yet again. I think that with today's win against Betis, we've just won the league title. If Barcelona don't win this league title, something catastrophic needs to happen in the last 10 games of the season for us not to win the title. We just need 7 more wins to win this league title, and I believe that we could even win maybe just 5, and it should be enough to give us the title. But let's start with the best player of the world, the best player of all time, the best player in the history of this sport, Lionel Andres Messi Cucitini. And my word, Lionel Messi was an absolute force in this game. I was impressed by what he did today. But before I start talking about Lionel Messi and rambling about him for like the longest time ever, let's start with lineups of the game. So, Barcelona up to start with Marc-Andre ter Stegen in net, a 4-4-2 of Sergio Roberto, Alba, Piqué and long lane defense. In midfield, Busquets, Vidal, Rakitic and Arthur, and in the forward line, Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez. And Betis up to start with a 3-4-2-1 with Pau Lopez, Joaquin, Mandy, Bartra, Sidney, Tello, William, Guardado, Canales, Lo Celso and Jesse Rodriguez. And to be honest, it wasn't that spectacular from Quique Setién. I thought that with the 2 forwards, kind of center forwards, attacking midfielders in that formation, he lost a lot of control in midfield. I think that something that he did really well in the game at the Camp Nou was that he had too many players in midfield, and Valverde was smart enough in this game to add a midfielder and overpower him in midfield this time. I want to give praises to Arturo Vidal. What a match from Arturo Vidal. Like, this has to be his best game for Barcelona ever. I think this is the best game that he's played for us so far. And again, what a shame that he's 30 years old, man. Like, why couldn't we have this guy at 25? Like, I would love to have this man forever and ever. Like, he just runs and tackles for every single ball. Like, he doesn't care if it's 1-4 at the 90th minute or 0-0 at the first minute. Like, he wants to die for every single ball. Like, it's so unfair that he's gonna go out of the lineup when Ousmane Dembele comes back, but it is for the better of the team. But what a game from Arturo Vidal. Even Rakitic, Sergio Busquets, that was a great performance from them. Arthur again, another class from Arthur. He had a little bit more of a job this game to do forward lines, to do those lines attacking the space. Arturo Vidal, Rakitic and Arthur all had that job today. It was more of a 4-1-3-2 at times. It felt to me that all those 3 midfielders at times were attacking the space separately, and Lionel Messi and Suarez was just fantastic. Sergio Roberto and Alba helping down the wing. It was just a complete dominance from Barcelona in the sense of that we competed pretty well. We dominated the game. We conceded very few chances, but I have to say, the chances that we've conceded this game were a little bit worrying, because if you think about it, if they had good forwards, because that's the one thing about Betis, they have a really alright team, a pretty good team, until you go up against that attack. That attack is absolutely horrible. Like, Jesse had a shot that he should have put in, I think, before the 1-0 for Messi. I think Was it Lo Celso that had a header blocked by Jordi Alba? Like, they had a few chances that they could have put away and it would have changed the game, but yet again, we do have that player, that forward player that is always changing the game from us. He's always doing the unbelievable, even when you think that you've seen everything that's unbelievable about this guy. Lionel Messi has yet again won another game for Barcelona. And this was the Lionel Messi show. And let me tell you this, that I don't know how you guys feel, but Lionel Messi, in my opinion, this wasn't his best game. Like, I don't think he had a game to be in his top 100 games that he's ever played for Barcelona. And when you see this performance, you might be thinking that I'm crazy, but how many times has he done this? He has done this so many times. And to be honest, when we were given that free kick, and I want to clarify the thing about the free kick, I do think it's a foul because Arthur is looking for the foul. He's looking for the contact, and as soon as Guardado launches into him, it's for me it's a foul. He goes hard enough against Arthur. He doesn't get the ball, and for me it's a foul. And yet again, giving a foul to Lionel Messi in that position, I think Lionel Messi, honestly, he likes more having free kicks from that spot than having to take penalties, if I'm all honest with you. But all jokes aside, that was a perfect shot. It was close enough that Pau Lopez had to decide where he wanted to go, and because he didn't sight quick enough, he was never gonna get to that without lunging in as soon as Messi took the shot. And the second goal from Messi was, again, what a heel to heel flick from Suarez to Messi. Like, that was a fantastic link-up play with Luis Suarez to Leo Messi. And I believe he is one assist away from being the top assist, from equaling Dani Alves' record of the most assists to Lionel Messi by a Barcelona player. I believe Luis Suarez is in 40 and Dani Alves is in 41, something like that, I believe. And my goodness, Luis Suarez had another beautiful game again. Like, it was a sensational thing from Luis Suarez. But I think I want to talk about how weird it is that both in the Lyon game and today, he was absolutely sensational, but somehow he manages to mess up the most easiest of chances, but then goes on a Maradona run, and all of a sudden it was weird as hell because he did the hardest thing that he could do. And it's always been the thing with Suarez. He seems to do the most difficult things and make them look easy, but he messes up the easiest of chances. To be honest, it looks to me a lot like Cavani. Like, Cavani for me is about the same thing. I don't know if it's an Uruguayan thing, but hey man, it was a fantastic game from Suarez again. Always giving his all. If we had a younger Luis Suarez, I wouldn't be even asking for another striker. For me, if you want to compare Cristiano Ronaldo to someone else, you compare him to Luis Suarez, because my goodness, Luis Suarez in statistics is better than Ronaldo. Like, I think his goal average is slightly better than Cristiano Ronaldo's over his career. And hey man, like, you have these players like Neymar, Hazard, like all these fantastic players, but comparing them to Lionel Messi is just not normal. Like, did you see that fourth goal? When that fourth goal came in, I was like, wait, what? Like, what did he just do? How did he do that? Like, he was running, he looked up before he got the ball, and he already knew what he wanted to do. At that speed, the way that he was getting the ball, the way that he received the ball running, it had to be the most caressing of touches to be able to lift that ball up and just about to touch the crossbar and went in past Pau Lopez. And Pau Lopez is, I believe, 190 centimeters, something like that. Like, he's a meter 90, and he was well positioned. It's just that Messi managed to put that ball in fantastically. And another fantastic goal from Lionel Messi to add to his repertoire of phenomenal actions, of magisterial days that we've seen Lionel Messi show. And I think that's about all the good things that I have to say about the game. And now I have to say a reflection about it is that we are competing well. We competed well this game, but I wasn't happy with how we played the game. I believe Betis ended the game with more possession than us. They had more possession until the game was 0-0. Like, they had a lot more possession than us until the game was 0-0. And my thing is that how are we going to give possession to Betis, considering that our squad is a lot better, our team is a lot better, and you're telling me that we cannot play head to head to Betis, we cannot play blow to blow to Betis and come out on top. We have to play like sort of defensive counter-attack way to beat Betis. Like, yes, it is the most effective way, but against a team like Betis, I would expect us to dominate the whole game and be able to pressure well enough to not let them just have the ball, which in some parts of the game we did. We pressured them so much that they were making so many mistakes. And a little incisive here, the mistakes by Betis today, my word, especially in that first half. How many passes? Like, I don't know who coached these players, but I think the first rule of coaching of getting the ball out of the defense is never through the middle, never leave a divided ball through the middle of the midfield. And what do? They lost the ball like in 5 minutes. They lost it like 3 times. They could have been 3-0 down even before we scored the first goal. It was ridiculous what Betis were doing. Aissa Mandi had to be the worst player in the pitch. Like, I couldn't believe my eyes. It was horrendous from Mandi. He made so many mistakes. He looked like a, I don't know, I've seen better La Masia defenders. I've seen better Youth League defenders than that. Like, it was horrible. For the Luis Suarez goal, Bartok was all confused because there was a 3-on-1 situation and the other two are supposed to jump in, one of them, and no one jumped in, and eventually Bartok had to go out there and get confused because he wasn't the one that was supposed to go out and go tackle Luis Suarez. And then none of them even attempted to tackle him until it was too late. I believe that the midfield, I don't think it's any to be proud of. This performance, it was a good performance and you should be proud that you got the result, but let's be honest, they're playing with 38-year-old Joaquin. They're playing with Sidney, who is a defender that was the starter for Deportivo La Coruña, who got relegated last season. They have Mandi, who was horrendous. They have William Carvalho, who, he's a good defensive midfielder. He didn't get much help today, but again, they have Guardado, who again is too old. He's good, but he's too old. Canales and Lo Celso, I believe that having them in attacking midfield didn't help him at all. Didn't help the midfield at all today. Jesse, he's just not a good striker at all. Like, he's more of a second striker. Like, playing lonely, it's just asking for trouble. We got to see Emerson today, and I didn't get to see much of him, to be honest. Like, Betis were pretty much down in spirit once he came in, but I would like to follow him and see if he could be a valuable option going forward for Barcelona in that right back position. But to be honest, I want to give a chance to Musa Wage from the B team. Or if not, if we need to sign a right back because something goes wrong with Semedo or something, Youssef Attal from Nice, I think he would be a phenomenal signing. Honestly, if you haven't seen that guy play, I think I'll make shortly a player review about my favorite players in every position that I would love Barcelona to sign, and he's definitely one of the names I want to talk about. Like, he's so good. He reminds me of like a Dani Alves coming through for Barcelona. It's absolutely fantastic. And not much to say. Lionel Messi has 29 goals in La Liga, 12 assists, 41 goal contributions in 28 games. And I mean, not even 28 games. There's 28 games gone in La Liga. He's not even played all of them because of that injury. His goal to game ratio is ridiculous. His goal to game ratio in the Champions League is ridiculous. And I want to talk a little bit about the Spanish media, about El Chiringuito, because I heard today, I was listening to it today a little bit before filming this video, and one of the Madrid fans who it's the most biased, ridiculous thing I've ever seen in my life, was comparing Messi's goal to Raúl against Sporting Gijon, and oh my goodness, let me tell you, please, nothing like it. Like, Lionel Messi execution in this one has to be one of his best executions of a goal that I've ever seen, because he was running with so much speed that the ball managed to go in really well, like really easily under the crossbar. I don't think you can compare it, and that's the thing. It's really hard for Barcelona fans to try to talk well about Barcelona when, especially the Madrid media, are always demonizing everything good that Barcelona does, because it's what they do. They don't want us to be doing our thing, so they try to make it seem like as it's nothing that special. Well, it is special, because if we manage to win this Copa del Rey and this La Liga title, it would be 8 La Ligas in 11 years and 7 Copa del Reys in 11 years, I believe. Like, we have an option of winning a treble, who I think that if we can give this level of competition, I believe that we have a chance, but I am so scared. I hope that Luis Suarez knocked is not something to be worried about. I hope he can be back with Ousmane Dembele for that clash against Manchester United in the first leg of the Champions League. And not much to talk about that. I will soon be talking about a video about managers, especially the sacking of Pablo Machin, and I think the future sacking of Quique Setién, because I think it's completely unrealistic for teams like Betis and Sevilla, especially Betis. I don't know if they were really expecting to beat Barcelona. Like, it's not a thing that you should be expecting. If you beat them, it's because they compete really bad most of the time. In that game that you beat them, they were trash. They were completely trash. In this game, you clearly had no chance because our players are clearly above yours. Like, it's no shame losing against Barcelona when you are a team like Betis. Betis have a team that I think is just good enough to be mid-table. That they're fighting for Europa League spots, it's a miracle. So I think you should not be too harsh on yourself. You should know that you barely just got into the first division again from being in Segunda for a long time. And yeah, leave me your comments in the comment section below. Who do you think is the best player of all time? And I'll see you on the next one, Blaugranas.